The grueling life as a slave on Tatooine was only made bearable to young Anakin Skywalker by spending his meager free time with his friends Kitster and Wald, as the three shared their love of pod racing and dreams of one day leaving the desert planet. So how did Kitster, Wald, and other inhabitants of Tatooine who knew Anakin as a child react when told that he grew up to become the dreaded Darth Vader, the enforcer of the Galactic Empire? In the book Tatooine Ghost, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, and C-3PO visit Tatooine a couple of years after the Battle of Endor in search of an old Alderaanian painting rumored to be auctioned on the remote desert world. Acquiring the painting was important for the now formed New Republic, as it contained encrypted codes used by the former Rebel Alliance as a means to covertly communicate with their implanted spies within the Galactic Empire while they were still a small fighting force. Believing the painting was destroyed along with Alderaan due to it being in transit to the planet prior to its destruction, it was soon discovered that it had not made its way in time of the world's demise, and instead ended up in the black market. Hoping to not have the encrypted codes still contained within the painting to fall within Imperial hands and expose the identities of rebel spies within the crippled but still dangerous Galactic Empire, the four made haste to obtain it before anyone else. While on Tatooine, Leia and Han disguised themselves as aliens in order to not alert any unwanted attention, and began their quest of getting the painting. During the auction the painting was being sold at, Leia overheard one of the items being auctioned contained a hologram of a young Anakin Skywalker, after he made history of being the first human to win a pod race on Tatooine. Hearing the name of her father confused Leia, not understanding why such an item existed in the first place, let alone why it was kept so long. At this time, very little was known about Anakin Skywalker's past before he became a Jedi, with it not entirely known if he was even born on Tatooine, as some had suggested. Nonetheless, the hologram sparked Leia's interest, which led her to meet Wald and a few other people who had known her father as a child. When the subject matter was brought up, Wald spoke highly of Anakin, stating how he had given him and all the other children of Tatooine hope of leaving the planet and achieving their dreams like he had. Upon learning that Anakin was a slave, Leia became conflicted, believing him being a slave painted her father as a victim and downplayed the fact that he was once one of the greatest oppressors in the galaxy. When Leia told Wald that the kid he was friends with and looked up to grew up to become Darth Vader, the Rodian got offended, refusing to believe her. To him, it was unthinkable that his childhood friend who was so joyous, hopeful, and inspirational could ever grow up to commit the heinous crimes of Darth Vader. The two got into a heated argument as a result, which ended with neither being convinced of the other's claims. At this point, Leia had still not forgiven her father like Luke, unable to let go of his actions that led to so much pain and destruction across the galaxy, let alone torturing the man she loved, Han Solo. Wald wasn't the only one to speak highly of Anakin, as nearly everyone who Leia came across that knew of the boy, who had done the impossible of winning the pod race, saw him as a hero, especially the slaves who became motivated of earning their freedom like Skywalker had. Seeing her father being viewed as a hero made Leia sick to her stomach, still not believing Vader was the touching child everyone claimed him to be. Eventually, the four rebels came across Anakin's childhood best friend Kitster. Kitster had learned of the fate of the Jedi Order following the end of the Clone Wars, initially believing Anakin had died during the Purge when news of it first broke out. But unlike everyone else who knew of the boy, Kitster discovered what Anakin had done when he returned to Tatooine as a Jedi Padawan prior to the outbreak of the Clone Wars, how he had massacred an entire Tusken village in rage, killing everyone including the women and the children. But he also knew why his friend had done it, knowing the Tuskens had kidnapped his mother and tortured her to death. To Kitster, he believed Anakin must have regretted his actions that day, as he had always had an extreme emotional reaction to injustices that he saw. And unlike everyone else they met, Kitster acknowledged the fact that Anakin had become Darth Vader, believing the great pain he felt as a slave and losing his mother explained why he became such a monster. Despite this acknowledgement, however, Kitster still believed that there was always good within Anakin, even when he was Vader, and that he must have always regretted the slaughter of the Tusken village as it was his first step towards his eventual dark path. Upon hearing such an honest and reflective response from Kitster, as well as seeing the hologram of Anakin with his mother from earlier, Leia was finally able to forgive her father and let go of the hate that she had contained for him her whole life.